Hey guys, so we're gonna make a Sadia Khan profile because a lot of people don't know much about her. So I use the latest kind of AI technology to create kind of like a Wikipedia type of, background on her. And I'm just gonna basically go through it and so we have an idea. So Sadia Khan, this is AI, so it might have some errors also, but we'll take a look. Sadia Khan, a British Pakistani relationship coach and psychologist, was born and raised in London, United Kingdom, to parents of Pakistani origin. While some sources suggest she was born in Pakistan in 1989 and later relocated, her own accounts and interviews emphasize a London upbringing and highlights the cultural blend of her Pakistani heritage with a Western environment. This duality shaped much of her early experiences as she navigated the strict traditional norms of her home life against the more liberal influences of her English school and peers. Khan's family background is rooted in a conservative Muslim Pakistani household where arranged marriages and strong family values were emphasized. Her parents, described as loving yet traditional, instilled religious and cultural principles that influenced her views on relationships and commitment. Little is publicly known about her parents' specific professions or personal history, but Khan has portrayed them as practical and supportive figures. Her father in particular was watchful and strict, closely monitoring her activities to enforce household rules, which prevented her from rebelling during her youth. She maintained a close, albeit infrequent, relationship with him, seeing him every 3 months and sharing emotional farewells. The family dynamic included 4 sisters and 1 brother. It's interesting, 4th sister and 1 brother, with Khan noting that her parents continued having children until they had a son. Reflecting on cultural preference for male heirs common in South Asian families, this sibling structure contributed to competitive and sometimes negative interactions among the sisters, fostering feelings of jealousy and rivalry. Khan has extended family ties, including aunts and uncles who provided a broad range of perspectives that enriched her understanding of human behavior. She is particularly close to her nephew, a young child she describes as the center of her affection, often visiting him during trips home. Khan's childhood was marked by a sense of emotional duality. She was a popular and social adept outside the home, but felt neglected and ignored by her siblings within it. She describes her early years in 3 words: social, strange, and helpful, capturing the contrast between her outgoing public persona and the internal conflicts at home. As a highly sensitive child, she was easily upset by perceived lack of support, particularly from her mother, who sometimes sided with her brother or made decisions without her input. It's interesting because I know a woman where this is very similar, in the sense the brother gets to do everything and gets all the benefits, and the girls need to work and hard work and they have to give up their money, and the brother gets everything for free. And sometimes he even gets the money from the girls. It's really harsh kind of unfairness. These experiences led to anxiety, jealousy, and a deep-seated need for emotional validation. Growing up in London exposed Khan to cultural clashes, such as observing English families where children moved out young and paid rent to parents, which she found alien compared to the lifelong duty of care in her Pakistani-influenced home. It's a little bit like I said before. She was intrigued and initially skeptical of arranged marriages, a common practice in the cultural background, though she did not have one herself. These observations fueled her curiosity about relationships and human dynamics from a young age. Khan's early education took place in predominantly English school environment, which contrasted sharply with her home life and amplified her sense of being caught between 2 worlds. Motivated by her personal feelings of neglect and jealousy, she pursued a higher education in psychology. She claims to hold a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Manchester and a master's in development psychology from Regent's University London, though these credentials have faced scrutiny and lack of verification from institutions. Her academic path was driven by a desire to understand her own emotions and those of others. Before entering coaching, Khan worked as a teacher in London schools and experienced and honed her skills in dealing with young people in emotional development. This role transitioned her into focused relationship coaching, where she specialized in trauma, attachment styles, and modern dating challenges. Her childhood experience experiences of insecurity and family dynamics directly inform her work, as often she discusses a long-term effects of early neglect in adult relationships. Khan has expressed a long-standing desire for children since her youth, but emphasized waiting for personal relationship stability to avoid repeating patterns of instability she observed or felt in her life. This stems from her concerns about broken homes and their impact on emotional health, a theme recurrent in her coachings. She advocates for self-worth and compatible partnerships, drawing her from her own journey of blending Eastern traditions with Western insights. I think this is also for Asian women and, of course, Middle Eastern women and so forth. I think it's very hard that you have this kind of patriarchy, and then you have a lot of women that experience that in some form of fashion or some kind of neglect or abuse by men, where they're like, I don't want to have children and I don't want to repeat the same thing. And we are seeing this a lot. And I think this is also the reason why so many young women are deciding to not have children or to be very skeptical about men, because they have seen basically problematic men within their own families, which is not always just the men, but Despite her public persona, details about Khan's personal romantic history remain limited, with reports indicating she's single at 37 and has no children. Critics have used this to question her expertise, but she positions her insights as derived from professional study and cultural observations rather than personal anecdotes. Her family life continues to influence her, as seen in her emphasis emphasis and gratitude toward parents and the role of extended family providing these diverse viewpoints. I want to say something about this. Like, I don't have a relationship currently, and I've been single for a long time, and I noticed something interesting, like by observing myself. It doesn't always have to be you. It can really be just like a lot of bad luck, or you can just meet a lot of bad people, or you and sometimes it's just society also. So if, for example, if I went to the Philippines or to South America, where I speak perfect, Spanish, I would probably instantly find a girlfriend. Whereas, for example, in Europe, it might be much more difficult. And looking from the outside, people are like, maybe it's something is wrong with him. And I'm learning with age that, it's sometimes it's just a cultural thing, depending on which culture you are, which you come from. And sometimes even it's better to go back to the original culture you came from. Because I think a lot of times when you move from a traditional, sometimes it's even genetics. Like if you come, I'm Czech, for example, I'm Slavic, and I don't feel truly at home in a lot of Western countries that don't have the Slavic kind of background. So then, and this is a different humor, different way of looking at life, and then it makes it much more unlikely that you find the perfect partner, for example, because a lot of it is culturally anchored, or even sometimes genetically. Khan's early relocation of immersion in Dubai and London as an adult reflects a continuation of her multicultural roots, allowing her to build a global audience. Her childhood in Pakistan household in the UK fostered a unique perspective on gender roles, fidelity, and emotional intelligence, which she credits for her success in the self-help industry. However, controversies surrounding her credentials and personal life have overshadowed some of this narrative in recent years. In interviews, Khan often reflects on how her sensitivity as a child shaped her empathy towards clients dealing with similar insecurities. She has discussed the psychological effects of single parenting and childhood trauma, drawing parallels to broader societal issues without delving deeply into her own potential traumas. This approach makes a professional boundary while using her background as a foundation to her advice. Well, we know that with the professional boundary, that's been an issue. Khan's views on parenting emphasize the foundational role parents play in instilling values and emotional resilience, influenced by her own experience of feeling supported at times. She warns against actions that could make children emotionally fragile, advocating a balanced support. Her career trajectory from teacher to coach was propelled by these early insights into human vulnerability. Public discussions of past often of Khan's past often intersect with her critiques of modern family structures, such as the impact of divorce or single parenting on children. She argues that early instability can lead to trust issues in adulthood, a perspective likely informed by her observations of cultural shifts in London. Despite this, she promotes healing through self-awareness. Khan's Pakistani heritage remains a core part of her identity as she bridges East and Western philosophies in her work. Her childhood in a traditional home, contrasted with UK society, helped her develop a nuanced view on relationship. This has resonated with audiences through skeptics questioned the depth of her personal disclosures. Earlier career steps included content creation inspired by her psychological studies, focusing on trauma from childhood experiences. Khan's emphasis on red flags in relationships stems from her own early lessons in emotional dynamics. She advises against ignoring these, drawing from her background. Khan has addressed the ethics of parenting in her content, suggesting not every man is suited to it based on emotional readiness. This view may reflect her reflections on family's dynamics and cultural expectations. Her work continues to evolve amid personal and professional scrutiny. The blend of her London upbringing and Pakistani roots has made Khan a voice in the multicultural relationship advice. I think this is also something that a lot of people that come up also in this kind of blended household, where on one hand there's like this traditional strict household, but on the other hand you're confronted with a modern Western society. I think a lot of people were looking up to her in order to kind of like navigate that. Her childhood's emotional challenges provided the impetus for career. Despite controversy, she remains focused on helping others. Khan's early life story underscores themes of resilience and self-discovery. From feeling neglected to becoming an expert, her path is one of transformation. The narrative continues to inspire her followers. In summary, Khan's past is defined by cultural fusion, family complexities, and personal growth. These elements form the bedrock of her professional identity. Her story highlights the impact of early experiences on lifelong pursuits. And then in the beginning, it's basically here a little bit of overview. Sadia Khan is a prominent relationship coach and content creator known for the advice of modern dating, marriage, and gender dynamics. Born in Pakistan, she has built a significant online presence, amassing millions of followers across platforms like Instagram, YouTube, and podcasts. Khan positioned herself as an expert in helping individuals, particularly men, attract high-value partners while emphasizing emotional intelligence and traditional values. The thing about, high-value partner in women is very easy. You need a woman that fully respects you, and that's the only thing that you need. And of course, you want her to be beautiful, but so beautiful and respect you, and that is what most men that are experienced want. They don't care about anything else. Her content often blends psychological insights with culture. But like I said, I have to make a video about this again because I said it has to do with, do you have soul plans that are similar or supporting? And do you have these chakra attractions? And that really makes a good relationship then. Her content often blends psychological insights with cultural commentary, drawing from her Pakistani heritage experiences in multicultural environments. Khan's career began with online content creation, where she quickly gained traction for her straightforward advice. She operates from Dubai and London, offering coaching session, online courses, and consultations that cost between $8,000 to $11,000 for these programs. Her website serves as a hub for her services. As a relationship called attachment styles, boundary and impact. Khan has appeared on numerous podcasts and interviews, including Soft White Underbelly, when she discussed love, marriage, and her professional insights. She has collaborated with figures in the self-improvement space. Her media presence extends to YouTube channels and platforms where her clips of advice have garnered over 100 million views. Despite her popularity, Khan has faced significant controversies regarding her credentials. Critics, including online communities like Reddit, have accused her of taking degrees and not being a licensed psychologist with no registration found in professional bodies such as the British Psychological Society. These claims have led to widespread debates about the ethics of her coaching practices. A major scandal erupted in 2025 when leaked recordings allegedly revealed Khan's involvement in an affair with an engaged billionaire, contradicting her public advocacy for fidelity and high-value behavior. Reports detail her as a side chick, with audio clips surfacing where she supposedly threatened others and boasted about the relationship. This led to public backlash, with many labeling her as a hypocrite and fraud. Khan has addressed some allegations in interviews, clarifying her role as a coach rather than a therapist, and denying the severity of the claims. However, the controversy has intensified scrutiny, with YouTubers like Aban Preach collaborating to expose discrepancies in her backgrounds. Accusations also include editing her images to appear slimmer, further and eroding trust in her brand. She's reportedly 37, with no public information about children or long-term partners, with some critics used to question her expertise in relationships. Khan maintains a glamorous public image and often sharing content from her bases in Dubai and London. Khan's views on gender dynamics include assertions that attractive women encounter the worst version of men, leading to trust issues in relationships. I find the opposite to be true, that actually attractive women, like I was a model photographer for a while, and I noticed that attractive women a lot of times were actually like really attractive women. I'm not taking like the I think I'm attractive because I can fuck every guy type of girl, but this kind of like really beautiful model type of girl, those are usually very nice. Talk about, Claudia Schiffer, when she was a supermodel, these type of girls. And when you look at how they have relationships nowadays, you see that they have great families mostly. So they actually pretty good in picking men and men picking them. So if you want a really good wife, go for the really, like the 10 out of 10 model type. And I'm not talking about, OnlyFans makeup girls. But, those you will find maybe in Barcelona and New York or London or Paris. Yeah. I once saw one of these girls like in Barcelona airport. She was kissing her boyfriend, and while she was kissing him, she was looking at me, and I was like, oh my fucking, she's like really beautiful. Like this is another level, like alien type of beautiful. She has critiqued modern dating culture, claiming women test men for manipulativity and that alimony motives drive some marriages, then promotes psychological health as key to attractiveness, blending self-improvement with relationship strategies. Recent news highlights ongoing fallout from the affair allegations, with ex-posts and videos amplifying the exposure. The scandal has sparked broader discussions on the accountability of online influencers in the self-help industry. Some former supporters expressed disappointment, while others rallied in her defense, citing her positive impact on millions. Khan has responded via interviews, attempting to clarify her credentials and personal life. I haven't seen any of the podcasts where she's doing that, but maybe I'll find them.